texting?
Texting, just like anything else that you do when you drive, besides what your primary function is, which is operating the vehicle, can cause problems. Anytime your attention is diverted from where it should be, watching the road, watching the changing traffic patterns, weather conditions, what other drivers are doing out there, driving defensively. Anytime you do something besides that, it's going to cause problems. Whether it be texting or using your cell phone or adjusting the radio or talking to other kids in the car, whatever that may be, it's going to cause you to have problems. Inattention is the number one cause of all traffic crashes in our state, and it's the number two cause of fatal traffic crashes. So it's a problem that we see every year.
All right. Do you have any statistics about how often crashes are caused by text messaging as opposed to cell phone usage?
We don't track text messaging on the reports. We do track cell phone usage, and I've got the stats here for 2008, which showed that we had 13 fatal traffic crashes that involved cell phone use, 524 personal injury crashes that involved cell phone use, and then 1,251 property damage, which just means there was damage to the vehicles. And again, that's for the year of 2008, which is the last year we have all the complete statistics for.
Okay, thanks. The current law prohibits text messaging while driving if you're under 21. Do you feel that this has made any difference? Do you feel that less people are text messaging while driving?
I think so. I think there's a certain amount of people out there that if something is illegal, they're not going to do it. Certainly, there are those that are going to continue to do it, and those are the ones that will learn through enforcement action that they shouldn't do it, or even worse, being involved in a traffic crash.
Are you seeing any correlation in the statistics with any drop in accidents thanks to the new law?
Well, since we don't track text messaging for traffic crashes, it'd be really hard to measure that. Plus, it's been in effect less than a year, so it'd be difficult to draw any conclusions from that short of a time frame.
Right, I understand. Do you know how many tickets you've issued for this offense so far?
Through the middle of March, we'd issued, I think, 20 tickets for actually texting while driving. Most of those were from troopers who had observed other violations, and then they recognized the texting after the fact of stopping the car.
Officers are allowed to pull someone over solely for texting while driving, correct?
Right. But you'd want to make sure, number one, that they were texting, number two, that they were 21 years of age or under before you made that stop. So obviously, we always, when we train our troopers, we train them that if they're in doubt about something, that they don't do it. So if they don't think that person is 21 years or younger, or if they're not sure that they're texting, then they're not going to make a stop based simply on that violation.
So a universal ban would make it easier to enforce because you wouldn't have to worry about their age, right?
Right. The age requirement obviously is something that's hard to determine. It's difficult to look at someone, and particularly in a vehicle when they may be traveling at 45, 55, 65, 70 miles an hour. To make that determination could be difficult.
Do you think that underage drivers have more difficulty driving while texting?
Certainly, young drivers, it takes on average about 5 years to become a good driver. So, if you start when you're 16, it's going to take you roughly 5 years to become as good as everybody else out there. So certainly anything, not just texting, but anything that a young driver is doing in addition to operating a vehicle is going to increase their chances of having a crash. You can look at young drivers, and they make up about 10% of the driving population, but they're involved in almost 30% of the crashes that we have. So you can see that they are overrepresented in the number of traffic crashes that they're involved in, each year. So certainly anything that a teen is doing in addition to driving is going to create problems.